All right, guys. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Make sure everything's good over here on the stream. I think so. Just a large delay on my side, but I think we're good. How's everyone doing this start to the week? Monday morning. Looks like we got some movers this morning, so we'll see what's going on. Prepare for our day here. Tesla obviously up big. Off of some upgrades and news with Hertz, which is very, very interesting. So Hertz buying 100,000 Teslas, which is a lot. It's a lot of cars. 100,000 Teslas to rent out. That's a lot. I think it was a total of $2 billion. Where is it? 100,000 Teslas. I think 4.2 billion in revenue. That's a lot. So that in itself is like almost half of, what is that? I don't know. I'm not too good on Tesla's quarterly numbers, but it's a big portion of Tesla's quarterly numbers. So that's pretty big news for Tesla. That's going to be big news for Hertz, I think, as well, once they IPO again. So HTCW is the warrants for Hertz. HTZZW. So we'll see if those do anything today. But yeah, so some big news for Tesla this morning. $4.2 billion from that purchase from Hertz. So that is most of the reason why this thing is pushing hard this morning. So we'll see what happens. We got PayPal moving. We got DWAC moving again. Coinbase, Upstart, NVIDIA up pre-market. Goldman Sachs up pre-market. So definitely some stuff to be looking at today. Hello from Italy. How's it going? Oh, you're on the honeymoon, Ben. I think I remember you telling me you're heading to Italy. How's it going over there? How's Italy? So my grandparents are from Italy, straight from Italy, and they told me a story about something that's going on in Italy right now. Maybe you guys have heard of it, but there's some people that over like the last 6 months have been going back and forth from cell towers and slowly getting rid of all the copper in the cell tower. And then one day, just like no one's phones in Italy worked. So this has happened recently. So I don't know if you guys have heard this too, but my grandparents were telling me that happened in Italy recently. So very, very, very interesting. Very funny to see that would happen. People just taking all the copper out of the cell phone towers, and no one's phone then worked after that. So I thought that was funny. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start our day here. October 25th, and some stuff we definitely should be looking at. If you guys, we got a new, I built a Porsche Lego car back there. How do you guys like that? I think it looks good back there. Nice little Porsche. Futures, NASDAQ, Dow, S&P. Of course, we'll look at all of those today. Get a look for what's moving this morning. Facebook earnings. We'll start off with Facebook earnings. Facebook has been beat down, and I really cannot tell what's going to happen on this earnings. It's going to be a really big toss up in my opinion. You either play it for the bounce back because you think all this news and everything is oversold, or you sort of stick with the reoccurring theme here and play it back to the downside. I don't know. The theme of earnings right now, I will say, what I've realized so far on earnings this year, now that, the first few weeks into it, it's usually like sort of no movement on earnings and then a continuation move. So I like that. You guys saw Netflix basically move a few bucks off earnings, and then the next 2 days after you got the big move. Same with Tesla. Tesla didn't really move off earnings report. And then over the next, you guys know Tesla's up to $950 this morning. So I'm definitely going to be looking for that personally, because I don't like to really throw much money if I do play an earnings play. I'd rather just wait for the continuation. So maybe we get, no movement on earnings on Facebook, and then we get the recovery post earnings. So we'll see what happens. Tesla Hertz, we'll look at it. We'll look at Tesla. I already sort of talked to you about the deal, but we'll look at Tesla this morning. PayPal, no deal. So PayPal denied its acquisition with Pinterest this morning. So anyone that bought some PayPal off that news, expecting either for it not to happen or for PayPal to recover, you should be up nicely this morning. They are definitely moving higher. They gave back a little bit in the pre-market so far, but they are moving higher this morning. DWAC, Trump's Truth Social SPAC, that is moving again this morning. That's up to $103 a share. So we'll see what happens on day 3. Maybe we get another pop here. I think options are opening on DWAC today. So be careful, please. This is good and bad for people that can't control themselves. That is very bad. So please be very careful playing options on DWAC. The implied volatility will surely be astronomical, and you can definitely get hurt playing those. So please be careful. Upstart. Took an entry on Upstart last week. I'll show you why. I think a very good entry. So I'm going to show you that entry. Coin. Very nice break and retest on Coin from last week. And I want to show you that this morning. Goldman Sachs still holding one more call option from 2 weeks ago. I think this thing can come towards all-time highs this week, so I want to show you that. And then finally, how does Snapchat, how does Twitter, how does Google, how does anything ad revenue related move off of Facebook earnings? So is Facebook earnings Is Facebook earnings going to help Snapchat fill the gap, maybe? Or is Snapchat going to move lower off of it? I don't know. But Snapchat will definitely move off of Facebook earnings today. The same way you guys saw Facebook move, Google move, Twitter move off of Snap earnings, I would expect the same type of sympathy today on those social media stocks. So does Snap move off of Facebook earnings today? Which direction? I can't tell you that. I can't tell the future. But we can definitely look at Snapchat and get an idea of what we're looking at here. So that's the schedule today. If you guys could throw me an early like, press the like button, get this stream out to more people. I think even pressing it now will help it get to more people this morning, so we can get more people in the live streams. If you guys have, if you've been coming here regularly, if you could press the like button, that would be really, really appreciated. So thank you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So, NASDAQ. That's not the NASDAQ. That is light crude oil. We don't want to look at that. Here's the NASDAQ. All right, guys. So, last week we got a nice move, right? But we started to fail. Now, where did we start to fail? We started to fail right here at 15,400. That is our level. We talked about this last week, and we are still below it. So, this 15.4 is definitely, I wouldn't say it's concerning me, but it's definitely making me, take a look at the market, slow down, and make me really look at this and say, okay, is 15.4 where we start to get a little bit of a temporary fail? Do we start to move lower? Or, are we going to get the push through? So 15.4, guys, that is the level to watch here the rest of this week. Why do I say 15.4? Well, it's clear the resistance is there, but it's there from previous times, right? So here's the 4-hour chart, and you guys can see it's as easy as just looking at previous levels, right? I mean, that's really all it was. It's right here, previous high, previous lows, and previous high. I mean, it's clear as day here on the charts. You could understand why 15.4 on the NASDAQ is causing some resistance here. So previous highs, previous lows, resistance, support, resistance, and now you're back in resistance, right? So here is your resistance, guys, coming into this week, 15.4, and we've gotten past it a few times, but we just don't find that strength above it. We move past it and we close lower. So you get the buyers to push through, but there's that continuation just not quite there. So 15,400, even if we clear this 15.5, I think that would be a big bullish sign. if we do see that 15.5 breakout here above 15.5. I think that's pretty big because not only is it a psychological number, but you also have this resistance in this area, right? From back in early September, right around here at 15.5. So that will be big as well. So 15.4, 15.5, guys, definitely some tough levels to be watching here on the NQ. So make sure to look at that today. If we start to move lower, it's not panic mode, but it's definitely, something to watch. Maybe these lows right around 15.2s, because if you break below those 15.2s, there's really not much down here until maybe, let's zoom in here. So if you break below this Friday low, which is right around 15.273, so right around 15.270, I think if you were to see a drop below there, you're probably going to come down to this previous structure point on the market. So you're probably going to get a move back down to around 15.1, 15,000, right in that area, if we were to drop below this 15.270. So that's what I'll be watching today, guys. I'll be watching the 15.4 breakout or the hold of 15.270, 250, right in this range. That's going to be my main watch coming into today. Next, ES. So, guys, ES just basically rejected off all-time highs on last week. So pretty normal stuff. I wouldn't say that's, if something rejects off all-time highs, guys, you can't really think it's bearish. It's just a normal rejection point. So for me, just a normal rejection point. There's going to be a lot of sellers up there. So I'm not too concerned about this. You guys can see it's bouncing this morning. Today, of course, I'd love to see the breakout of all-time highs, like to see the pullback, the retest. That would be great. But really, that's all that I'm watching today. Let's see if the SPY can push up to that 45.50 area. If it can break through and hold above, I think that's very bullish. If not, maybe you just watch this 20 SMA on the 4-hour. It looks like it respected that pretty well. You guys can see right here. Pretty nice respect of the 4-hour on the ES. So I would be watching that today. You'd probably want to see us close above that 20 SMA on the 4-hour, because you can see it has respected it in the past. So that is something I'm going to be watching here. QQQ level is 375, Franklin. So 375 is that 15,400 is, if you guys just go to QQQ, you can see it pretty easily. Look, it's the exact same thing. QQQ, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. $375 a share on QQQ. All right, finally, we got the Dow. Dow is through all-time highs here. Very nice. We all know that the Dow has been the overperformer. This Dow trend is slightly concerning because you don't usually see the Dow just go up and continue unless we are getting this same type of, you guys remember me, putting out that crazy idea of, a nice like 15 to 20% move to the upside that most people will want to see come back but never does. Unless we're getting a move like that, this Dow move does sort of worry me because I could totally see this thing, giving back some and then sort of just pushing back higher. It seems a little bit overextended here for the Dow, right? Look at this type of move higher. We usually see, a slow grind higher on the Dow. So I'm definitely going to be watching the Dow and seeing if that, I could maybe see a scenario where the rotation goes out of the Dow and into growth. If we get really good earnings on some big tech companies, that may start that rotation back into tech, into growth. If we see that, you're probably going to see a dip on the Dow. You're going to see some money flow back into the NASDAQ. You'll get the NASDAQ push towards all-time highs. You'll get the Dow dipping a little bit as money starts to flow into other directions. But it's always going to be a give and take. Then you're going to get the same thing over again, rotation out of tech back into the Dow. So it's going to be a everlasting cycle here between these two indices. But at this point, Dow's been overperforming. It's up at all-time highs. How does it perform up here at all-time highs? That's what we'll have to find out. With a lot of tech companies plan to report earnings coming up, maybe you start to see some rotation back into tech. I don't know. That's something to be, thinking about. So let's go ahead and get into Facebook earnings. Let's quickly pull up the earnings calendar for everyone that's interested here on your screens. So Here is the earnings calendar. You don't think Dow should go into industry consumer? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, that is why the Dow is strong, right? That's spot on. I just don't know how long it lasts, because most of the time, those rotations don't last forever, Mr. TNT. But, I mean, it could last, definitely. I'm not saying it won't. I just want to be careful, because you've already pushed into highs. So, you want to be a little bit careful around all-time highs. It's a good reason. All-time highs is a good reason for it to dip, right? So, here we go. Facebook today, Logitech, nothing else really that big in my opinion. I mean, these are obviously big companies, but nothing that I'll be trading. So Facebook's the big one today, right? After hours today, Facebook. Tomorrow, UPS, GE, 3M, that's Lockheed Martin, JetBlue, Raytheon, Wealth or Waste Management. I should know that. I live in Florida. They're in Florida. Waste Management, Hasbro, Lilly, and Pulte Group. Wow, so this is big. I mean, I know, all these companies are pretty large here. So tomorrow before open is going to be pretty big here. Pulte for house, for home buying, for real estate. And then you got some big Dow names in here, right? JetBlue, 3M's a big Dow name. I believe maybe 3M might not be in the Dow. I'm not sure. Tuesday, after hours, AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa, Twitter. Those are some really big ones for tech, right? AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet, 3 big tech names there. You got Robinhood here, guys, if you're interested. So tomorrow, after hours, is going to be large. Wednesday, Boeing, GM. Did they change their logo, GM? Interesting. Coca-Cola, McDonald's. McDonald's and Coca-Cola, 2 big ones for the Dow. After close Wednesday, Ford, Teladoc, Twilio's been on a nice move lately. eBay's been on a nice move lately. eBay through all-time highs on Friday. What else? Shopify, big one for the big tech name there. Cat, big one for the Dow. Caterpillar. What else? Okay, so here's the other big day, right? Apple, Amazon, Thursday after close. That's going to be very, very important for the tech market, guys. This could potentially make or break the Nasdaq for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe less, maybe 1 to 2 weeks. We'll have a reaction off of this earnings. So, if we come into this earnings pretty flat and we get a pretty nasty report on these 2 big boys right here, Amazon and Apple, that's definitely going to cause some worry in the market. Or flip side, these guys report big and this Nasdaq has all of the reason to push higher. So this is going to be big here on Thursday. And then on Friday, Exxon, AbbVie, Chevron, some oil, Royal Caribbean. That'll be interesting. So big week here, guys. Very, very big week here for the earnings reports. That is going to be very interesting to watch and see what happens. So let's go ahead and jump into Facebook. All right. So daily chart. Let's pull up the 200 SMA because that is something that I think a lot of people have been watching here on Facebook. The 200. Oops, wrong one. 200. Let's pull that up. Let's make it red. All right. Yeah, so 200 SMA is at 319. So we're a few points off of it, but we are pretty damn close to that 200 SMA once again here. You guys can see that right here. So at this point, guys, I mean, it's so difficult coming into earnings, right? How do you know what's going to happen? You don't. You really don't. Here's the weekly chart. I would love to see Facebook back down to here because that would just be a fantastic entry on this stock. That's previous highs turning into support. This would just be a very long-term break and retest. But look at the last 5-6 weeks on Facebook. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of red for Facebook. Just very, very ugly. The people that do take the bet, the contrarian view, the people that do take the earnings bet that this thing moves higher, if Facebook moves higher and beats expectations, which right now are $18.80, $18, let's just say $19 a share. The people that do, take that bet, if it does beat expected move to the upside after being sold off for so long, of course, you're going to make a lot of money. It depends on if you want to take a bet like that, right? So this thing will need to move $19 a share post earnings for call options to increase, or it needs to go down another $19 a share for call options to for put options to increase. So interestingly enough, $19 a share takes you basically right back down to this 300 level, which is on the weekly chart where I just showed you where I would actually like to see this pull back to. So if the earnings are bad, if this thing moves down the expected move, you're basically right back down into this very large support here around 300. So that is something I will be looking to. If we do get the drop on Facebook down to here, I'll definitely look for that upside if we start to find support here in the 300s. Or, if we push back to the upside, if we get a nice move, then we can try to see if we can catch this bounce. That's the good thing about, just waiting for the continuation move, is because you already know what's going to happen. You already know what happened. If it's good earnings, it moves higher. Yeah, sure, you'll miss on the earnings move, which may even be crushed by implied volatility, and you don't have to worry about that. And then you can just play that continuation. I mean, if they have a great earnings and this thing has some sympathy to the upside, then just play off of it post earnings. Don't worry about trying to catch the earnings move. That's how I'm thinking in this, in my opinion. Some people just need to get their earnings move. They just have that gambling mentality, I think, or they know something that other people don't, so they are going to go into it. Yeah, I'm personally just going to wait, guys, for earnings to be released. This should be very interesting. Facebook has been down for 6 weeks in a row. There's been a lot of news, a lot of bad press, and there's nothing else for me to really say about this, guys. I can't really tell you where Facebook heads because earnings is going to be a wild card here. So tomorrow we'll come back. We'll look at Facebook. We'll do a little bit better of an analysis after knowing what's happened post earnings. So those are the levels I'd be watching. Look for that 300 support, or if this thing starts to break higher, then we'll just play the sympathy back to the upside. All right, next, Tesla. So, Tesla's been absolutely incredible lately. It really has been. News on Tesla this morning, right? If anyone's new here, didn't listen this morning, Tesla is Hertz, the rental car company, bought $100,000 Tesla cars. I'm not sure if it's just Model 3s. It probably is. Let's just say Model 3s from Tesla, plans to rent them out. This is a $4.2 billion revenue increase for Tesla just from this order alone. So that is huge. That tells me that Hertz really did not get much of a discount for these cars. What is that? That's $42,000 per car, right? So if Hertz is paying $42,000 per Model 3, that's about what we could get it for, right? That's just about $42,000 is just about the price for a standard range with maybe a few options. Out the door, you're probably in the 40s, right? Hertz did not get any discount on these cars, paid full pop for 100,000 cars. That's $4.2 billion in revenue. That's big for Tesla. And then also you got a Morgan Stanley price increase this morning to $1,200. So Tesla's on the move this morning, to say the least. You guys can see here up to $953 in the pre-market on an absolute tear, well past all-time highs. We'll go to the 1-minute chart here. You guys can see. Here you go. Big move, and then I'm not sure if this is where the news came out. I think right around here for Hertz, and then you can see the big pop off of that news. No, Tesla didn't order. Hertz purchased 100,000 vehicles from Tesla. So big move on Tesla. How did they get the money for Hertz? Hertz probably financed it through debt, I'm sure. I actually used to work at Hertz, guys, so I sort of know about their business. So, yeah, Hertz, all of Hertz's cars at one time were just financed. I'm sure they're the same thing here. Or the company that, that bought their debt, it's probably what's the name I'm looking for? Company that buys a company, takes it public. God, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but there's a name for a type of company that takes companies over, brings them public, cashes out and then leaves. Someone say it in the chat. I'm waiting. You guys know. Once someone says it, I'll remember. I forgot. I can't think of the name. But you guys, if you say it in the chat, you let me know. Hertz was bankrupt. Yes, they went bankrupt. Company buys their debt. They bring them back public. No, it's not a SPAC. Not a SPAC. Company buys their debt, brings them private, works on the company, then goes ahead and venture capitalist. Thank you. Or private equity. Sorry. Private equity firm. A private equity firm, what they do is they buy their debt, right? Venture capitalist, private equity, similar sort of thing, but it's a private equity company. Private equity, they come in, they see Hertz is bankrupt, they buy their debt, they then take control of the company, they work on the company, they make decisions, which private equity is most likely making this decision to play with Tesla. At the top, they're probably like, hey, we want Tesla. It's not a SPAC, it's private equity, guys. So, they're making decisions now for Hertz. At least they're part of the decision making. Their equity, they're probably buying Tesla. Then their plan is to go ahead and turn Hertz back to public. And then when Hertz goes public through, an IPO or however they go public, the private equity firm, most of the time, will ditch. They make their money, and then they move on, right? That's what private equities firm do. They go from taking shitty companies that maybe are bankrupt, they term them better, they work on them, they take them public, they cash in, and they leave. That is how Hertz, knowing about Hertz, because I worked for them in their corporate office, that's how Hertz got in this bankruptcy in the first place, guys. So maybe I'm not sure how many years ago, but about 5-10 years ago maybe, Hertz was also acquired by a private equity firm. They made some really poor decisions. They debt financed everything. It was very bad. They went public, and ever since that private equity firm took them public, they have been drowning in debt. And that is what those decisions back then is what led Hertz to being in such a terrible situation when COVID hit. They were, eyeballs deep in debt from, financing all their vehicles. And, it only takes, something like a pandemic to not be able to pay all of your debts. And that's what happened to Hertz. They got taken public or private again by a private equity firm, and they're probably going to redo the exact same thing here. So either way, enough about Hertz. Hertz will definitely be something to watch if they come public again, for sure. Avis Rental Car, the ticker symbol CAR, is the only publicly traded rental car company right now. That's why, it's going nuts. And Enterprise is a private company. So Car is the only rental car company on the market right now. And you guys can see, we'll go ahead and look at Car's stock. It has been on an absolute insane move. Something I have not seen. Look at this. Car back in March of 2020 when the virus hit was $6.35. $6.35 was Avis Budget's price, stock price in March of 2020 when the virus hit. As it stands today, it's at $167 a share. So if this gives you any idea of the positivity around rental car right now, because of the high margins, because of the difficulty to get cars, rental car companies are insanely high, and that means their margins are high. And I think if this should tell you something, if Hertz comes back into this market, I think Hertz should do pretty damn well. And I have buddies that work at Hertz, and I think they're doing well. I can't imagine them not doing well, right? I don't know the details of what's going on, but they're open. They're open for business. I'm sure they're getting a lot of money for their cars, just like Car is. So it's gonna be interesting. So Tesla, big move this morning, guys. How do you play this? I personally, I think you need to see something on the downside to get into this. I don't think you just chase this out of the gates. Maybe you see some type of pullback to this 633, back in this area. Maybe even back to the 610s, which I don't believe is going to happen. But maybe you look for this 633 today. I think it's going to give back some of this pre-market move, definitely. I definitely believe so. So that's Tesla. That's Hertz. That's a little bit about the rental car business. What's potential for Hertz in the future. I would definitely watch it, guys. If Hertz does come public again, I'm definitely going to be all over it, because just looking at Ava's budget, that thing is nuts. So one thing real quick, I'm sorry to go off in this tangent, but it's actually quite interesting because I used to work for Hertz, and it's a very interesting business, rental car. And I want to just talk about it real quick. So more than anything, what Hertz is good at, or any rental car company is good at, is managing fleet. So fleet management, that is the most important thing. And that's what I did at Hertz. I managed the fleet, and I was able, we have systems to see where cars are, how to manage them, where cars should be for the certain demand, where we need to move cars from if there's demand coming in. So Tesla could use a fleet management company, right? So if Tesla wants to get into, I know they want to get into like robo-taxis in the future, because Tesla, if you guys are not aware, if you guys if you lease a Tesla Model 3, or if you lease a Tesla Model Y, you cannot buy out the lease. Why can't you buy out a lease on a Model 3 or a Model Y? It's because Tesla is building a fleet of Model 3s and Model Ys to become robo-taxis. This is straight from the salesman's mouth at Tesla. So Tesla is building up a fleet of cars, Model 3s and Model Ys. Can Hertz be the fleet management company that comes in and maybe manages all those cars for them, runs it like they do for their rental? I don't know. It's interesting. It's actually quite interesting to think about. So that should be an interesting. I'm sure Tesla, and now that Tesla and Hertz are in talks like that. I mean, they had to have been in talks to buy 100,000 cars. So interesting stuff. Tesla Hertz is not merging, guys. Don't go spreading fake news. It's just an idea that Hertz is a good fleet management company more than anything. They just rent their cars to manage their fleet, right? So, yeah, interesting. All right, PayPal, we're already on it. So here we go, guys. PayPal, you guys know we got a big dip off the news of the acquisition. This morning, PayPal comes out and says PayPal rejects Pinterest acquisition report. So, I mean, we were talking about this in the Discord chat, like how, we could easily see this just being like, just total Fugazi. You guys know of Wolf of Wall Street. And it seems like it might just be just Fugazi. So PayPal comes out this morning and rejects the report. And you guys can see here on the 4-hour chart, we are starting to bounce back this morning. So how much does PayPal bounce back? I don't know. We bounced back. Here's this morning. We can see nice big gap up. We're starting to give back some move, which is okay. I mean, you should expect to give back some of this move. We rejected right here at this white line. What is this white line here? Let me see. This white line is, okay, look at this. So we rejected right at this uptrend. So we just moved up to this uptrend and found resistance. Is that a good sign to me? Not really. It's a wazi, it's a woozy. Is it a good sign that I saw PayPal move up into this trend line? You guys can see right here. Look at how we moved up into this trend line and rejected right at it. Look at that. Move up, rejection right at the trend line. What is that trend line? That trend line is this uptrend on the daily chart. So that's not the best to see. I would like to see it above that trend line. So for me personally, guys, if you are not in PayPal yet, that is what I'll be waiting for. I want to see a break above this trend line, because you guys can see on the short-term time frames, it is clearly rejecting right there. So I need to see this move above the trend line, turn it into support. Whoops. And then I'll be more comfortable playing that, right? So that's what I'll be waiting for on PayPal this morning. Let's see if it can break above that trend line on the daily chart. But either way, a little bit of positivity this morning. DWAC. So anyone that's going to trade this thing, best of luck to you. PayPal trend line, just draw the trend line there on the daily chart. It's 258. Right there, look, 258. All right. DWAC, I'm not going to go long on this one. Just, you guys know, options I think are open this morning. I believe if I go to DWAC, yes, options are here, ladies and gentlemen. So please be careful. I'm sure the IV is insanely high. I'm not sure I'll be able to see it yet. But please be careful trading options on this stock. It's going to be crazy. You guys know this stock went from, what did it go from? It went from, oh, Jesus Christ, look at this daily chart. It went from like 10 to 175 in 2 days. So, I'm not saying there might not be more upside here, because there definitely could be. You guys can see it's actually holding up quite well, starting to push back higher. Maybe you do get another move. But please, at your own risk, guys, at your own risk, please trade this. Just be careful. You might even be better off if you really need to trade something like this. You may be better off just buying shares, guys. So, I don't know. DWAC, it's holding some previous levels. This 72 will now be the line in the sand right here around this 72, 73. You definitely don't want to see it break below that if you're in this. If you're in DWAC, you definitely don't want to see this break, because that is where you held here yesterday or Friday in the after hours. So that would be the level I'd be watching if I'm in it, guys. 73.50. All right. Next, Upstart. So I got an Upstart on Friday. Why? Why did I get an Upstart on Friday? I'll tell you exactly why. Here it is. Here is why I got an Upstart on Friday, because I absolutely love this setup. I will take this setup any day of the week. I don't care if I lose on it. So this setup right here, around 340, guys, this nice previous break and retest of 340, that is a beautiful, beautiful look to me. So I absolutely love that. I love the pullback. I love the hold of 340s. I like that we're starting to see it push off of it. If we get the same type of move like this, this is going to be a big, big play here. So if we get the same exact pullback, hold of previous highs, push higher, pullback, hold of previous highs, push higher, that is what I am looking for here on Upstart. So I would love to see this work out today. We're up nicely in the pre-market. You guys can see we respected this line multiple times on Friday. Here is Friday's price action. Respected this 340 area, bouncing off of it again. So I need to see this start to move. If I do, then I am in here at the bottom. And I really, really like this type of formation. So that's what I'm looking for in Upstart. Netflix did a very similar thing, guys. So I'll just show you Netflix real quick. Here is Netflix. It did almost the exact same thing, right? So it pushed higher, pulled back previous highs, broke out. If we go to Upstart, pushed higher, pulled back to previous highs, broke out. I'm looking for that same thing to happen. So that's Upstart. Next, Coin. Coin actually looks nice in the daily chart, I must say. Even here on the 4 hour, look at this. Look at this retest. That is really nice, guys. So push higher. You wait for the pullback. If you miss this breakout, no, I don't have this week. I have, what do I have actually? Hold on a second. I have November 5th, so 2 weeks. So Coin, break, retest. Here's your retest on Friday. Look at it bouncing off of it already. So this morning, guys, I would watch this. I would watch this break and retest, see if this thing can hold previous highs. You can see these previous highs right here. Held it as support. That's very nice. Want to see if that can continue. Here on the daily chart, it looks even better. So here it is on the daily chart. Look at this. Push higher, retest, previous highs. See if this thing can get going once again off these previous highs. That's what I'd be watching on Coin today. You just don't want to see it drop back below 292s. Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs, I've been in this thing for quite a while now, and I've loved every second of it. It's worked out beautifully. Ever since it broke out of this flag pattern right here, you guys can see little flag pattern breakout, and we have caught this breakout. Now, it's starting to fail a little bit, right? You've gotten a little bit of a fail over the last few days. Let me go ahead and jump into the 4 hour. Here's the 4 hour. You can see we hit this, we hit highs of around, what is this? 417, pulled back, found some previous support. Look at that right here. See how we found that previous support right there? Very nice. That's a little break and retest in itself. So if you guys can look for these break and retests, you'll find them everywhere. Here's another break and retest. I mean, I show you guys multiple of these this formation a day, right? Excuse me. And they work out almost every time. So if you guys can find these and trade off of them, I guarantee you, you will find some value from it. So break, retest, Goldman Sachs pushing higher, pre-market up $2. I want to see that 420 hit this week. That's what I'm looking for. 420, if we can get to all-time highs, that is what I'll be looking for. I'm going to keep an eye on the financials today, see if the banks can continue. So I really like Goldman here. I love the break and retest, and I'm looking for that upside this morning. So that's another one I'm watching. Next, Snap. So you guys know Snap had a big gap down, and this left this island of price action, which we talked about, which is very, very interesting. Look at this island of price action. There is nothing connecting this price action to previous levels. I mean, you have lows here and highs here, and there is no connection to these prices. I mean, you have just a huge gap and a huge gap, and anyone that owns shares of Snap in this island is pretty screwed, right? Because they're just sitting up here not getting much love. So island of price action, gap up, gap down on earnings. Very strange price action on Snap, I must say. So Snap, I would be personally, I don't know. This is tough. I can't really tell what happens yet. You have to start to see a little bit of consolidation here, at least maybe a week of consolidation, or you get this move down to 50. If you get this move down to 50, then I'd be pretty confident for support down there. If we do get this move, I would expect a nice bounce off 50 if you get down to there. Or Facebook earnings, like we talked about earlier. Or Facebook earnings helps this thing out. But you can see on Friday, following the earnings report, we really did not get much move back to the upside. I mean, we went down lower, right? We recovered in the pre-market after hours, moved back lower during market hours. And at this point today, guys, I just don't think I'm not ready to get into this yet, especially not with Facebook earnings around the corner. So what I would do, I would wait to see how Facebook earnings is. If they do really well, then I think the Snapchat gap fill is on. I think that trade is on because I think Snap will find some sympathy off Facebook potentially. Or Facebook does bad and this thing really starts to move down to 50s. So personally, I just don't see this as a chart that I'm ready to play. And I would just wait to see what Facebook earnings does because that's going to have an effect on Snapchat. Mark, I know I see people talking about it. I don't think you really missed out on much, man. This is just a nice little penny stock doing its thing. So, I mean, if you guys want to get sucked into this world, it's a different story. I don't really feel like getting sucked into that world. Yeah, Pins is getting wrecked off the news of so Pins right back down to where it started, actually almost lower. So right back down to here, guys. So Pins went up on the news. Most likely just BS, fake news, and we're right back down. So pretty ugly on Pins. You guys can see, look at this. Look at this 4-hour action. Ugly. Very, very ugly. All right. So that is what I have, but we still have some more charts to come for people that are members of the YouTube channel. If you guys want to be a member of the YouTube channel, you can press that join button down below. Every day I go over the charts that you request in our Excel sheet. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. If you guys could, before you head out, if you do start to head out, before I go over these next few charts, if you could press that like button for me, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and I'll throw in, I got Crowdstrike, Carvana, and Temus. Is Temus T-Mobile? What is Temus? It is T-Mobile, okay. So Temus, Carvana, Crowdstrike. That's what I got so far. Russian hackers on Crowdstrike, really? Huh. All right, so let's go over Crowdstrike first. I still would like to see Crowdstrike pull back to this level. Personally, we're about flat in the pre-market. Crowdstrike's been a little bit tough. If you didn't catch it here, I wouldn't chase this thing. personally, because this was a huge move. If you didn't catch it on this retest, which was pretty nice. I mean, look at this retest. Support, support. This was a great entry on Crowdstrike, right? So, you know, you got the move higher on Crowdstrike. Do you buy it just because it moved higher over the last week? I personally do not. I would much rather see this pullback to these previous highs, right around this 270. So if Crowdstrike does pull back to this 270, maybe it starts to find some support here and then tries to move back higher. That would be this whole area here, this 270 area, these previous highs. It might even be back towards the 267s, 268s. That's what I want to see as of right now on Crowdstrike. I want to see a pullback, a retest, turn this previous resistance into support. That's where I would probably look to get in. I don't really like chasing plays like this. In my opinion, this play is over. This is the play I should have been in, right? And I'm okay accepting that. Sometimes you guys need to accept that. You missed this play. If you are not in Crowdstrike, you missed it. And I missed it too. This was your entry on Crowdstrike. Not here, guys. Not here. This is your entry. The entry back at previous support, previous retest level, previous highs, previous support, turns into support again. That's your entry, guys. If you want to trade, if you want high risk to reward, if you want to try to be profitable, these are the trades you need to find. You do not need to be trading Crowdstrike as it pushes here. Maybe you get a few more points. Yes, fantastic. You made some money. Is that something that you will continue to do over time, continue to trade all-time high breakouts? Is that something that I would recommend for high risk to reward plays? I don't know. I rather my style, guys. And you're here, I mean, yeah, if you've got it through the breakout here, that's good too. That's better, right? It's better here, Mr. TNT, through 270. It's better than opening up at 290s, right? My style does not allow me to buy here. That is not my style. So I'm just gonna pass along my thoughts, guys. You don't have to trade off my thoughts. It's not why you're here. It's not to just follow me. I'm just sharing my thoughts. This is where I should have bought Crowdstrike. I did not, and now I need to wait for a pullback. So that's what I'm thinking on Crowdstrike. Next, Carvana Cvna. Carvana's starting to find some support at these previous highs, right? It's not perfect. It's not pretty. It's not a perfect previous high. But you can start to see there's some previous resistance in this area, and it's starting to find that support off of it, right? So that's interesting. I mean, that's something to keep an eye out for. See if this thing starts to continue to curl off this previous high, these previous highs around 290s. That's maybe what you want to see. See if this thing starts to curl off of it. If you were to get in a trade here, guys, it's pretty simple, right? If you were to get in a trade here, looking for that swing back to the upside, you just put a stop below the lows, and there's your risk. Your risk is about 10 points, right? And your reward is if this thing really starts to move, breaks out of this downtrend, that's probably what you want to see. You probably want to see this downtrend break, and then you get a nice move, right? So you either get in here with the stop below these lows, or you maybe wait to see how it performs at the downtrend. Maybe it breaks through, and maybe you take it off the downtrend break. So that's what I'd be looking at. All right, finally, T-Mobile, guys, and then we're going to head out of here. It's 8:48. We got to get to the Discord chat. So, T-Mus, do I still own Roku? Yeah, it's donezo. I mean, it's not donezo because I'm holding through earnings, but as of right now, I'm down about 30%. What's it doing today? It's nothing. Yeah, it's down. My Roku's down. But I'm holding through earnings. That's my earnings play that I'm doing this year. So, T-Mobile, I would, who's this? Mozam, I would just wait for some kind of bullish confirmation here, sir. That's what I'd wait for. You got to wait for some kind of bullish confirmation. I know this is what we look for, these previous levels, but you need to wait. The next step is you need to wait for the bullish confirmation. You guys can see, look at T-Mobile. Look how many times it rejects the 20 SMA on the daily. Look at every single time it pushed into the 20 SMA in the daily. Look at how it rejected it. So do you really want to get into this and then have it reject that again? I don't think so. I want to wait. I want to give this some time. I want to see that bullish confirmation. I want to see, lower highs start to form, right? Then you get in, right? Maybe you get in here as the lower highs start to form, the uptrend starts to form. then you get in, right? This stock isn't going to just go straight back to highs, guys, without you in it. Don't feel like you're going to miss out. Give this thing some time. Wait for that uptrend to start. Wait for that uptrend to start right here, right? You start that uptrend. You get in here with the stop below the lows, with the profit potential back towards the highs. It's a good risk to reward. You don't need to get in at the very, very bottom. Wait for a little bit bullish confirmation, then jump in. Don't feel like this thing is just going to go straight vertical back to the highs without you in it. So that's what I'd be looking for. If you guys are members of the channel, next stream, please don't type in the chat the ticker, because I'm not going to be able to get to it. Please go to the Excel file. It's pinned in the chat, guys. If you are a member of this channel, please go to the pinned message in the chat. That is a link, and you will see in that link, you will see another link to this Excel file. So please use that tomorrow if you guys are members of the channel. I'm not going to be able to keep up with everything in the live chat. All right, guys, I got to head out of here. It's 8:50. I got to head over to the Discord. If you guys want to join us there, feel free. That is the link down below. Thank you guys once again for being here. Thank you for supporting the live streams. If you guys could, there's 700 people here. Maybe we can get like 400 likes, a little bit more than half. So if you guys could, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you guys for 35. We just hit 35,000 subscribers on the channel. That's a big milestone. Next is that 50K. So if you guys enjoy, what I do here, feel free to share it with your friends. That would be very helpful. Share the live streams, have them hang out here with us. So thanks again. Have a great day. And start the week off slow. That's what I'll say. Start the week off slow. Get a feel for the market. Start it off slow. Get a feel for what's going on. What's the market looking like? And then Tuesday, Wednesday, you take your action. So that's how I usually approach the day. Monday, slow day. Get a feel for the market. And then strike midweek. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.